Well, hello and welcome, everybody. Thank you for coming to this very special interview and event. My name is Paul Fletcher, and I'm a certified master teacher and healer. And over the last 10 to 15 years, I've had the great pleasure of meeting and working with very high level people that are aware of the pathway to enlightenment. The first teacher, his name is Dr. and Master Sha. He's an extraordinary being, and if you'd like to learn more about him, by all means, run quickly to his website, drsha.com. Your life will never be the same. He has the extraordinary ability to wake people up, and he's an extraordinary healer, philanthropist, author, and more. Dr. and Master Sha's very first student in the culture that he grew up in would be called a disciple is a beautiful soul named Peter Hudoba. And I got to know Dr. Peter about 15 years ago when I first started meeting Dr. and Master Sha at some of the events. And I saw this person come up on the stage, and he had this Eastern European accent. And at first, it was a little hard to understand him, but I got much better at it. And of course, the English that he speaks now is perfectly clear. But what I come to know about this beautiful soul is that the journey to enlightenment can be made significantly easier when you are working with a teacher. And so I've invited this person to join us today. So Peter Hudoba, a little background on him, has been training for well over 25 years with Master Sha. He's also his lead researcher, being a retired neurosurgeon. He has a clinic right now in the Vancouver area, and he travels the world still. He helps people all over the world, and he spends quite a bit of time on interviews and in various places showing the efficacy of Tao healing, and he even has many workshops on enlightenment. So we're going to invite Peter Hudoba in today and ask him to share a little bit of his precious time with us. Thank you and welcome, Peter.
Hello, everyone.
Great to see you here. Thank you so much for taking your time. I know that you move from moment to moment with all of your responsibilities. So, I saw some comments on that you had posted, or your team, one of the last workshops you did. I think it was a 2-day workshop on enlightenment or something like that. Tell us just a little bit about that.
Well, I've been teaching enlightenment since 2005, and every event is actually getting better and better. I am learning to be a better teacher, but also what is happening to the connection with the higher realms is getting stronger and so far the strongest field that has appeared from all my previous workshops, as every is now getting stronger. So I believe that the one we are going to have this weekend together will surpass that, and we are going to glow and glow and glow with the light.
I'm looking forward to it. For those of you that are not familiar, Peter has agreed to have a half-day workshop. Even getting 4 hours of his time is quite precious. And so we've scheduled that for Sunday the 10th. So make sure that's on your calendar, and I'll put the information that you can go to learn more about it, to join this very beautiful 4-hour event. Now, give us an idea of what people can expect during this 4-hour presentation event session, whatever you would call it.
Well, 4 hours is not enough time to get enlightened, but for some, actually, it may be all what it is. In history, we know people who got enlightened like very short time. But generally, what it is, when we are doing workshops, the heaven, the deities will create a field, very powerful field. And when we are in that field, we can go deeper into our practices. So this is very helpful for those who are just new, because they can get in a first-hand experience when I'm in this field, wow, it's really different when I meditate alone. And for those who are well advanced, they will really welcome it because wow, this is what I want. This is all what it is. And we know that anyone can teach. We can also sit at home and read a book. We can meditate by ourselves. But when there is a field, it's a very different story. And that is irreplaceable. It's one of those things without which we can't progress. And plus, also the techniques I learned from our teacher, Dr. Master Sha, are very simple to learn, and they are very effective. So everyone can benefit. Anyone can benefit. Yeah.
So, I understand what you mean by a field, and you mentioned that, one of the first things we do is we call the saints and create the field, and that helps people to reach a much higher state of consciousness. But how is this field created? Where does it come from? What gives you the ability to create this field? Help us out with that.
It is we believe it is a soul world, but there is a lot into it. I don't know. I remember recently I watched again. I love that show. There was an 8 concert in Wembley in 1984 or 85, and then the Queens, Fred Mercury, were performing. I don't know if you saw it. It's worthwhile to watch. It's on YouTube. You can see the whole thing. Okay. It's that special atmosphere that has been created, and the group Queens and Fred Mercury, they did. I think it was their top performance ever. You need to have that something special there. And in that something special, that he gave his absolute best, and the audience was totally in sync with him. 1 billion people around the world were watching it. Mm-hmm. It's absolutely something unique. Now, that is that field. That was a field for them, for the pop group who was collecting the money to aid Africa or some charitable things. But it's that special that cannot be done just by anyone. It has to happen. Now, that field we can recreate in our similar way. We can recreate this field for spiritual advancement, and we can do it consistently. It's not just one time and that's it, but we do it workshop after workshop. That field is created by, let's say, help from heaven. And in that field, we can progress very fast. Things can happen very fast.
Well, I think that's the key, right? I mean, there's so many different ways enlightenment can be described. But in general, it's that you are operating as more of a light being, more of a higher frequency. So it stands to reason that you would need to envelop yourself in a higher frequency on a constant basis. And what I understand you're saying is that because of your connection with Source and your teacher's assistance, Master Sha's assistance, you've been able to have almost like a direct phone line. Source, would you mind coming down and creating a field for us for this workshop? Is it like that?
Yes, it is. Master Sha has bestowed upon me a spiritual power through which that field can be created. It's like the passing down the lineage. In Catholic Church, they have every pope has the ring. In the ring, he gets that power. When there are vestments given to Dalai Lama or Zen Buddhist tradition, they give the bowl and the robe. And through that, they passed the lineage over and they passed that power. And that spiritual power can create that spiritual field. So that's what it is. I am in no way special, but it was passed on me, so I can do it.
I want to stay here for a minute because when I first met Master Sha 15 years ago, he said, I want to create healers. And, within 1 second, within one statement, he moved his hand and said transmission. And there was, 300 new people in the room that had instantly had healing abilities. And this is a transmission of power and a transmission of authority, which to me at that time was just unfathomable. It's something where you read about in fairy tale books where the master touches the forehead of the student and everything is transferred over. You only see that in fairy tale books. And yet this is the kind of things that I know you do in your workshops as well. You transmit power so that people can move forward on their enlightenment journey. Can you give us any insights around that?
Yes, that is correct. I was very fortunate that my teacher bestowed upon me that authority that I can transmit power further. Um, on journey to enlightenment, we go through the stages, and each stage requires something different. So we start with the body. Body needs to be healthy. Body needs to be strong. Energy has to be healthy, strong, flowing freely. So we can embark on this journey. It's not an easy journey. So first we need to learn how to make the body strong and healthy energy, for example. So we have an energy center. If you do practices, the general way how it is taught in Qigong classes or in Tai Chi Chuan classes or yoga classes, prana and all of that, it takes time. When we transmit the power, you can develop that energy center and that vibrancy that we need for the spiritual work. You can develop it very quickly. But then we go to the next level. For example, we need to clear our mind. So then there is a transmission how to clear the mind. We need to start to calm down our emotions. Of course, there are techniques. You use them, but it takes time. When the power is transmitted to calm down the emotions, then you can calm down your emotions much, much quicker. And so each of us has something to really work on more than others, because that's our character, our personality. I am a type A personality. I was, I would say, triple A personality. Quick, fast, like Americans. Fast food, fast cars, fast money, bang, go, win. Yeah, I was like that. Well, calm down. Very difficult for me. Calm down. How? Calm down. I want to do it fast. Let's do fast. Calm down. Well, so I had to get the transmission. Calm down, Peter. And it worked.
It's astounding, really, when you think about it. These transmissions that you and I received and that we've offered to others, how instantly it can affect somebody's emotions or their mindsets, or in this case, calming down, right? And I'm very much like you. I rode motorcycles early on, and everything fast. Let me ask you a different question. Actually, it came up. I took our interview from this last interview, broke it into a bunch of little 1-minute pieces, and put it out there on social media. And there was a woman who asked, does this person teach anything about fourth and fifth dimensions? What would you share about that?
Well, there are different dimensions. There is a flat dimension. Yeah, everything is flat, and we can have a flat plus vertical. So we have 3 dimensions: front, back, left, right, up, and down. So suddenly 3. But there are more dimensions. Let's say the 3rd dimension moving in the time, and then suddenly you add time as a new dimension. So you have a 4th dimension. So we know from the conventional physics, we know from quantum physics, there are these multiple dimensions. In spirituality, we consider dimensions like the spiritual levels of purity, levels of the enlightenment. The It's like in society or in army. Army is probably the best way. You know, you have foot soldiers, and then you have someone who is captain of the platoon. You know, and then you have someone above that. You have a corporal, and then you have a general, then you have a chief of staff, and then you have a president who is just highest commander. So we have levels. The same is in spiritual realm. So there are these dimensions. So from the simple, higher, higher, higher.
And it's my understanding that the fourth dimension is for the most part where, quote, higher beings, saints, beings of love and light reside. Is that correct?
Correct. Yes, correct.
Okay. And then is enlightenment when we reach that level, or when are we enlightened? When does that occur?
Yes, correct. When we reach a level, first level of enlightenment, we are in the dimension. And it is truly, I can say it's truly very different to reach that place. It makes you a different person, really, you know.
I have a question. It's one that's been on my mind for a while. Why do so few people actually reach enlightenment?
To reach enlightenment is to realize who we really are. And it's very difficult to realize who you are when we are more made by society into what we are. We are not what we are. We are not what we want to be. We are what others want us to be. It's totally amazing, you know. Teenagers, if you are a teenager, you have to fit in the group. Otherwise, the peer pressure is just unbelievable. You have to have the same clothes, you have to speak the same things, you have to sing the same tune. Everybody has a cell phone, you have to have a cell phone. Everybody has a boyfriend, you have to have a boyfriend. Everybody has a girlfriend, you have to have a girlfriend. Otherwise, you don't fit. So you need to do things which you would not do. Maybe you are a loner, you just want to be on your own. You don't want a cell phone, you don't need it. But peer pressure is there. So you have to confirm with the group. Now that happens later on. You get married, you have to confirm with your wife or with your husband or with your partner. Then there are in-laws. You know, you have to fit into dynamics. Then you are at job. There is already group developed, and there is a hierarchy and dynamics in the group. You have to fit there. So you have to say things which are allowed to say. You don't say things. You say things which are expected, and suddenly hold small. Then you have to have a clothes according to fashion, so you fit in. Yeah, you have to crack the jokes, the similar like a boss. It's endless. So you really actually you are not yourself. You are modeled by others what they want you to be, and it becomes our second nature. We stop even thinking about it. We do it automatically, and then how can you let go all of that?
That's a really
How can you? Suddenly you have to do it. Then there are cultural differences. Then there are Americans are different than Canadians. Canadians are more reserved and more cooler. Americans are more wow, wow, wow. You know that buoyancy. And how can you change? You know, so suddenly you are modeled by society. And let go of all of it, and suddenly to recover that really who I am after 60 years of pounding on you, tough to do.
Hence the reason for a teacher, hence the reason for this workshop that we have coming up.
You need a teacher who has to tell you, okay, don't do that. No.
Well, I know you have to go soon. So this weekend, everybody, Sunday, the 10th of December, and the posting has been put into the chat group already. But make sure you put time on your calendar. It's going to be 12 p.m. noon Pacific time, 2 p.m. Central, 3 p.m. Eastern time, and so forth. Check it out in your time zone. Dr. Peter Hudoba will be leading a very special session, and he's going to bring us into a very special field that very few people have the authority to develop and wrap us and envelop us in. And he's going to give us the toolkit and opportunities to transform our bodies and hopefully our minds and our emotions as well. One additional question for you, Dr. Peter, before you go. When somebody completes this workshop and you've got them to the point of excitement, is there any kind of a follow-up, any kind of support structure for them?
Well, there are two. We will meet in 1 week. After our workshop, we will do another one for 1.5 hours or so, like a follow-up, where we can review all the things, and then I hope that they will start to take your classes, whatever you have in place. Do you have some classes regulars you are offering?
Yes, of course. I have a membership where we have the healing field as well.
Okay, wonderful. Well, that's my role, to help you to build your group. And so if people come and they resonate with what we do, then I hope that we'll start to practice with you more regularly and so forth. Yeah. And we can do another workshop like this together next year. And so we can all get together again. Yeah.
Beautiful. So I want to thank you again, Peter, for coming. I know how busy your schedule is, and I appreciate your time. I look forward to seeing you on Sunday. And then I believe tomorrow, for those that can make it, there is in the evening, at least evening for Pacific time, and at my time, I believe it's 5 p.m. Pacific time.
Yes.
We're going to have some precious time with Peter, and he'll be sharing whatever's in his heart. It won't be an interview structure like this. It'll be a bit more opportunity to be one-on-one with Dr. Peter and receive some insights. And so if it's something that you're looking at now and you say, I might want to know more about this, make sure you keep an eye out for all the posts we're going to have for joining him tomorrow night. And you can maybe ask him a question and get a direct answer instead of me talking to him. Thank you so much, Peter, and have a wonderful day. We'll see you soon.
Thank you, Paul, for having me. Thank you, everyone, for joining. See you on Sunday.
Thank you. Aloha, everyone. Bye-bye.